from my understanding is there was a lot of promises made in regards to capitalism. From what I understand, the import was kind of used as a promise that there would be a good economy, but now it's at a point where it just doesn't work anymore. Economically, it doesn't allow for more investment. So all the usual people that invest in Lebanon are not there currently. So that must be very stressful as well on the economy.
Right. So let's break down the major causes of why the economy is so bad. In a general sense, you have to understand this is a situation kind of about the chickens coming home to roost, where you have just decades and decades of an endemic corruption. And eventually you have to pay for all the things that you're doing. All the little games that you play to kind of, kick the can down the line a little bit so you can continue to operate, those are all no longer useful. But what has happened, there's many different things that have happened. First of all, you have Lebanon is somebody reliant on imports to a large degree. For everything. And our economy is based primarily on things like, the services sector. So that could be the sale of things like in shops, like maybe diamonds or jewelry, but also the services sector in our banking system, which is kind of like the Swiss banking system where you can kind of invest money and not declare, anonymously or whatever. So that's kind of one of the things that operates and part of the services sector. And the other thing is we rely in large part on, there's tourism also, but we rely in large part on remittances. So you have people in Lebanon who even when I was growing up there, it was kind of the same thing. There's not much work in Lebanon. So a lot of families, you go to the United Arab Emirates, you go to Saudi Arabia, you go to Kuwait, you go to North America, Europe, and then you send money back to your family. So that is how a large part of the economy is. It's supposedly 20% of the income that comes into Lebanon, the total GDP or something, about 20%. That has been going down. I think now it's about 14%. Why? I think in large part because investments in Lebanon are not a very good investment anymore, and people are sick and tired of the corruption. Because you have to pay so much, you have to, oil so many palms just to do what you want to do. So when the remittances are not coming in, so you have people who are sending money in to their families so their families can continue to maybe pay their rent or pay their mortgage or whatever, but are you really investing there? Are you really buying things? No. So who's Lebanon's biggest trading partner? Historically, it's Syria. Syria's economy has shrunk by at least 50%, and it's probably worse than that. So we don't have our trading partner anymore, right? So that's a big problem for our economy. The remittances are down. You have the fact that Iran, because of the sanctions which the U.S. has put on them, which are the strongest sanctions they've ever had against them, and they've had sanctions since at least 1979, their economy is not in good shape. So they cannot pump money into the country anymore. They cannot pump money into Hezbollah either as much as they used to. You have Iraq. Iraq is unstable. So everybody around Lebanon, if you took a map and looked at Lebanon, everybody around it has problems. And that's all impacting Lebanon. Syria is now, there's a new round of sanctions called the Caesar sanctions that the U.S. has put on them. So that's going to make things even more difficult for Syria. So in a lot of ways, a lot of things are going very wrong. And the saddest part about it is these things are not going to get resolved anytime soon. And don't forget the problem with ISIS. The ISIS was occupying certain parts of Lebanon at one point. They had taken some Lebanese soldiers hostage and held them and executed some of them. So Lebanon has anything going on in the region, Lebanon will be dragged into as a small, weaker nation.
Welcome to the Ericzone podcast. Please go have a look at the YouTube. Please like the Facebook page. Content creators, they need your vote of confidence. They need your likes and your shares. So thank you very much.